Richardson
Handle of
ISD
so the
Single
candidate forum.
Member District 5 candidates. My name is Ellen Steger, and I am the League of Women Voters of Richardson president. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan, grassroots civic organization that encourages informed and active participation in government. The League works to increase understanding of major public policy issues and influences public policy through education and advocacy. Membership in the League is open to everyone. With over 100 years of experience, the League is one of America's oldest and most trusted civic nonprofit organizations. Election information for the Richardson ISD elections can be found on the League of Women Voters of Richardson website at www.lwvrichardson.org. The site is updated as new information becomes available. Nonpartisan printed voters' guides are available here today, and they are at all the public locations in Richardson. So you will find them at the Richardson Library, at the Richardson Heights Recreation Center, at the Richardson Senior Center, at Richardson Huffines Recreation Center, and the Dallas League, so LWV Dallas is responsible for the voters' guides in District 5, and that's the district that the forum is for right now. So they will have the voters' guides at the Forest Green Branch Library and also at the Algeria Road Branch Library. Our printed voters' guide is great, but even better is the League's online voters' guide, because the online voters' guide has asked 15 questions that these ISD candidates have answered. The 4 questions that are in the printed voters' guide are included in those 15 questions found in the online guide. You'll find a QR code in your program, a link to the online voters' guide, or you can go directly to vote411.org. The League did not edit any of the candidates' responses in the voters' guide, either online or in print. Many thanks to the Richardson League volunteers working tonight, including the greeters at the front door, the ushers getting your written questions to the screeners, the question screeners who are seated to my left, and the timekeepers who are seated in the front row. Many thanks to those who submitted questions to ask the candidates. We asked for questions on our Facebook page and other social media, and you responded. If you don't get your question asked tonight, it may be because we collected more questions than we will have time for. Or it may be that your question is in the online voters' guide. So don't forget to check that online voters' guide or the printed voters' guide. I guarantee that all questions that were submitted have been considered. Many thanks to the candidates, both for attending our forum this evening and for your willingness to serve. We wish each of you good luck. The moderator for the forum is Paul Velker. Mr. Velker was first elected to the Richardson City Council in 2013 and served as Richardson's mayor from 2015 through 2023. Mr. Velker is an executive in the technology industry. He has worked for companies like Hewlett-Packard, Ericsson, and several other companies, big and small. He currently works for Export Development Canada, Canada's credit agency, and is responsible for the digital technology sector in the United States. Professionally, Mr. Velker's service includes advisory board at Connect 5G and chairman of the advisory board at Trend Data, where he served as CEO. His community service has included past executive board director of North Central Texas Council of Governments, past board director of North Texas Regional Transportation Commission, past Texas Governor's IT Committee, Texas Workforce Commission, past chairman of the board, Richardson, Texas Chamber of Commerce, past ex officio board member of Tech Titans, past UTD Johnson School Industry Advisory Board Executive Committee, past board of directors, RISD Tomorrow Incorporated Foundation, and past president of his HOA. And after today, you can say he is a past moderator. Paul and his wife, Chris, both graduated from William Penn University and have lived in Richardson for over 30 years and have an adult son. So I give it over to Paula.
Yes, I want to thank you. Thankfully for adding to my resume. It is an honor to do this. I appreciate being on the other side of this podium versus sitting where these people are. I want to start by saying, everyone, please silence your cell phones and other devices. Flash photography is not allowed during the forum, as it is a distraction to the candidates. Prior to today, each candidate agreed to abide by the forum's ground rules. These rules include showing respect to each other at all times. Candidates have agreed to not interrupt one another or talk over the other. They have agreed to refrain from personal attacks or charges. Audience, please refrain from applause or any other form of support or opposition to any candidate. The purpose of the forum is to hear what the candidates have to say. So please, let's give them as much time as possible to say and save your applause until the end of the program. Besides the RISD Board of Trustee races, you may have other items on your ballot, such as city council elections. Regarding only to the RISD race today, you must live in RISD single member District 5 in order to vote in the District 5 election. The District 2 and District 4 seats will also appear on the ballot, but only those voters who live in those districts. The District 4 race is uncontested. District 2 race is contested, and a candidate forum for that race will be held today at 2:30. There's a map in the foyer that shows the boundaries of the 5 RISD single-member districts. All questions will be asked of both candidates. We will rotate the order in which candidates answer the questions. Candidates are seated on stage in order of their names appearing on the ballot. To introduce the candidates in ballot order for District 5 place, position 1, Cristina, Neria. For District 5 on ballot, position 2, Trustee McGowan. In lieu of an opening statement, each candidate submitted a short biography which was printed and handed out when you entered the auditorium. Candidates, you have 1.5 minutes to answer each question. We will begin with a single-member district candidate in ballot position 1, Ms. Neria. First question is? Should have brought this with me. What one issue do you believe will most impact the families in the geographic area you represent over the next 3 years? How would you address this issue?
Can you repeat the question again?
What one issue you believe will most impact the families in the geographic area you represent over the next 3 years? How would you address this issue?
Well, I believe it's all about the parents being more involved in the community for their children. Teamwork between parents and administration, teachers. So.
Okay. So, Ms. McGowan, would you like to repeat?
No, thank you for the question. With today's climate, and since this is a school board election, I think there are many issues that are really important that families are going to face with today's challenges. However, again, since it is a school board election, I'm going to focus on teacher retention. In our district, it is key and very, very important that we focus on the main thing, and that's keeping the best people in place to educate our kids, giving them the best opportunity possible. And I will continue to fight for teacher retention, whether that's increasing salaries, and our benefits packages that we offer our teachers and how we recruit those teachers. And I am committed to that challenge every single day.
Thank you. Ms. McGowan, we're going to come back to you for the second question. Given the ongoing budget difficulties, how would you prioritize and advocate for sustainable financial solutions?
Another great question. Well, we are under severe budget constraints. Every district is in the state of Texas and the United States. How I would prioritize that is, honestly, leadership is the most critical piece, and who we hire and who's at the top and who's going to control those funds. And we've hired an amazing superintendent and her staff, and we're entrusting that her staff knows what to do and how to prioritize those funds. We cannot, as a board, that's not my job to tell them how to prioritize funds. We're to oversee and to make sure that, they're doing the best thing and the best thing in place. So I'm going to say, it's not my job really to prioritize those, but to make sure that we have the right people in place in leadership in our district that will, that we entrust to do that for us.
Thank you. Ms. Neria.
Well, to be totally honest, I would just look further into the issues and try to improve overall financial management, stuff like that. To work with the superintendent, give her ideas, have it kind of like a strategy plan. So, my opinion.
Thank you. Ms. Neria, with enrollment being an issue, what can you do to ensure our district is attractive to young families? Should RISD allow transfers of students from neighboring school districts?
I disagree with that. I would promote more families to move in the district, to live in the district, promoting our schools and our beautiful neighborhoods, but not transferring other districts. I disagree with that.
Ms. McGowan.
Can you repeat the question one more time, please?
With enrollment being an issue, what can you do to ensure our district is attractive to young families? Should RISD allow transfers of students from neighboring school districts?
I do agree with this concept. However, we, as a board, we did charge the superintendent to put a committee together this year for the budget steering committee, and they came back with some recommendations. One of those recommendations were to look at this concept. It is something that not one person makes a decision of. It is something that 7 others will help create, not create, but to make that deciding decision. So it is not on just one person to make this decision. However, I do not disagree with opening or having or allowing others to transfer into our district. Our neighboring districts do allow transfers into their districts. With the budget deficit that lies ahead of us, we have to be creative in how we bring in funds for our district. As you know, like, if butts are not in seats, we do not get paid. So, I'm not going, I'm open to creative ways of creating more financial cushion for our district. And I would say, yes, I am in support of allowing transfers into our district with very creative requirements that surround that and policy that we entrust our superintendent and her cabinet to put together.
Back to you, Ms. McGowan. What changes, if any, are needed in Richardson ISD's recruiting process in order to attract good teachers? If no changes are needed, why not?
I think there's always room for improvement in everything we do. I know that our recruiting department goes to colleges, they go to career events where they're, trying to recruit teachers to come to our district and be a part of the family here. And I think we, as a board, we discussed how important it is for us to have a very diverse group of employees in our district and teachers in our classrooms. So it is one of the things that the board cares deeply about is recruiting. And I do think our district is doing a good job at the recruiting methods.
Ms. Neria?
I think teachers should have more training and more hands-on, one-on-one with our students. See what their weak spots and their strong spots. Be more concerned about their students' education, their achievement. I think, more teachers should have more training, and just be more involved in their classroom settings, students, so.
All right, next question, Ms. Neria. Can you commit to always respond to a constituent if you are contacted with a question? How would you show that their question or concern was heard?
Yes, I would be very committed to their concern, and be there for them actually. Listen to them, hear them out, work with them. It's about working with them.
Ms. McGowan?
Can you repeat the question?
Sure.
I'm sorry, I forget.
So, Ms. McGowan, can you commit to always respond to a constituent if you are contacted with a question? How would you show that your question or concern or that their question or concern was heard?
Well, yes, I can commit to always trusting with the community and their children, their most precious assets, their money, tax dollars that are getting poured into our schools. Without our communities, we have nothing, right? And so, as a trustee, I have received many emails over the past three years. I've had lots of coffee, I've had lots of teas, and I'm not a coffee drinker. And I am committed to meeting every single one of those individuals, every single kid that wants to talk, and every one of those emails that I receive, I stress about getting back and responding back to those parents immediately.
Ms. McGowan, back to you for the next question. What specific criteria or measures would you prioritize to evaluate a superintendent's performance related to advancing student performance and adhering to district goals? Would you recommend superintendent's constraints to ensure adherence?
All right, so yes, I would recommend constraints. We do have board goals, so we follow those goals, and I recommend making sure that we prioritize in meetings that 50% of our meetings that we run are focused on student academic achievement, and that we measure our superintendent based on the achievement of our kids, not just by math scores, not just by STAR testing scores, but something that we look at, again, 50% of our meetings that we are covering those achievements, and how our administration decides to measure that is brought forth to our board, and that we are discussing that faithfully. And I believe that in the end, after countless meetings, and when it's time to evaluate the superintendent, there are no surprises. We have a record of everything. We've had that conversation, we've had the presentation, the communities have been able to see the presentation and see the data points, and that is how I believe the superintendent should, that's one of the things I think we should measure our superintendent based off of.
Ms. Neria?
I believe we should measure our superintendent by how she's involved with the community, how she's involved with parents, how she's involved with the schools, with how she makes the difference with it's overall the community. It's how she's there for the people.
Back to Ms. Neria. Beyond running for trustee, how have you been personally involved in RISD?
As I am not involved, I do my best to I guess you could say, get my opinion out of certain things, what my concerns are. But in my, what I feel, I guess you could say, it's all about the children and seeing them achieve their education and curriculum.
Ms. McGowan?
I am a parent first. I'm a proud graduate of Lake Highlands High School. I attended Stolford Elementary, Forest Meadow Junior High, now middle school, and graduated from Lake Highlands High School. As a parent, I sit on the Stolford Elementary board. I sit on the our dual language program board. Dual language is a program that we are piloting in our school district, and Stolford is the first elementary school that is part of that pilot program. And my daughter is a six-year-old who is a first grader in the dual language program. So I sit on that board as well. I'm proud to say that our Stolford Elementary PTA is a newly formed PTA that is raising funds at a Title I school that's going to support our teachers and parents. Finally, in our district, I sit on the Lake Highlands Band board. My son is a percussionist at Lake Highlands High School. And again, Lake Highlands, just like all our schools, deal with deficit issues, and the band needs money, right? So I sit on that board as well and helping support that. I sit on various committees throughout the district. I am part of the Lake Highlands Women's League, YNSL, which is a Young Men's Service League organization here in our district. My son and I commit to service hours with them. And there are others, but just to name a few. That's, as being a parent, that's what I'm doing outside of school board.
Back to you, Ms. McGowan. What are your priorities for inclusion in the next RISD bond election? And what are your top priorities for the next 3 years?
So as part of priorities for to ensure inclusion for the bond is to, we have a bond steering committee that has met now for the first time. I think March 30th, they met. We charged the district to put this steering committee together that will include parents from all over the district so that no one is excluded. We put a call out in emails, we put a call out, we marketed that on Facebook and all of the social media forums so that there would be no signs of exclusion, but inclusion. I've shared it with friends, and again, all we can do is continue to share and let the public know that, we are putting a call out and we want everyone involved in our decision when it comes to steering any decisions that we make for the school district. Can you repeat the second part?
What are your top priorities for the next 3 years?
My top priorities for the next 3 years are to ensure that our teachers that they are provided for, that they are taken care of, that we provide financial stability for our teachers, that we provide the accurate benefits for our teachers to ensure they can be in our classrooms, and they are compensated correctly. And we need to increase on that. We need to take care of our paraprofessionals. We need to increase funds on that. So top priorities are financial stewardship in the district, let alone to our taxpayers and our families as well. And academic achievement, closing and continuing to strive, raising the bar on academic rigor, and continuing to push our students in closing those achievement gaps. We still have a way to go. We are making great strides. We are making improvements. But I want to ensure that we continue on that path.
Thank you. Ms. Neria.
I'm still looking into the issues on that first part of the question and looking for ways to improve it. On the second part of the question, again, I am really into parents to be more involved, have a better transparency between parents and teachers for the children's curriculum, and just improving the community, really.
Thank you. Back to Ms. Neria. How do you plan to navigate the impending fiscal crisis with transparency to the public?
I am looking into that issue and will seeking ways to improve it.
Ms. McGowan.
Well, I would like, as stated before, I'd like to charge our lawmakers, legislators, to be a part of the ISDs in our district, in our state. I'd like to charge our legislators to come and join us, come to the board meetings, sit in and listen to the deficit issues that our school districts are having. I would like to continue to encourage public members and community members to reach out to their legislative representatives to continue to push for accurate funding for school districts so that we can educate children and children that cannot afford public school or private school education. Again, part of the process in bringing the public along is to keep them informed, keep things very transparent at our board meetings, and bring them along, and continue to encourage them to come along, come to the meetings, be a part of the process, so that you know what is happening and there are no surprises when it comes to financial cliffs that we are falling off of.
Back to you, Ms. McGowan. What is your stance on restricting inappropriate books, examples being sexually explicit, pornography, etc., in the RISD schools?
Again, I am a parent first. I have a 17-year-old now, and I have a 6-year-old. And by no form or fashion do I want my kids to my 6-year-old in particularly, right? In no way do I want her to walk into a library and come home with a book full of pornography. That is not the mission of parents. It's not the mission of any board members that represent our ISD today. I would say that we have a robust policy on books and inappropriate books, and I believe policy works. We create policies so that there are guidelines for parents, there are guidelines for teachers to follow. If they don't follow the process, they don't follow the policy, what can we do, right? We don't know what we don't know. There are things that have been in libraries for years, right? And everyone, no one's reading every single book that's been in the library over years. However, if there's something that a parent or a child or a teacher comes across, there's a process, there's a policy to follow. We can do something about what we know about again.
Ms. Neria.
I disagree with it. I don't think there should be inappropriate books. Again, parents should be more involved in their children's education, should be there to see what their children are reading. Even the books that the kids go select. Get them more involved. Ask them, what you reading there? What you keep in the library? Very simple.
Ms. Neria, what do you see as the benefit and drawbacks of expanding the use of lockable cell phone pouches throughout the district?
Could you repeat the question?
What do you see as the benefits and drawbacks of expanding the use of lockable cell phone pouches throughout the district?
I believe there should be lockable pouches for the children's cell phones. They don't need to be in classrooms. I mean, we didn't have them years ago. We didn't have cell phones years ago. We can go back to simple times. No cell phones around. So yes, I agree to have lockable pouches for these cell phones, these student cell phones.
Ms. McGowan?
I voted for younger pouches after lots of thought behind it. Again, I'm a parent first. With the safety issues and concerns, I heard a lot of concern from parents regarding safety issues that we've seen. I'll use the example of school shootings in classrooms, and parents just really afraid, like, what will I do if my child is caught in a situation and they can't access a cell phone, they don't have a way. And so it was school board trustees, all of us, right, that had to deal with that, and parents, and speak to parents on that, and really bring them along with us about the why behind this, and what it really does mean for children to follow the rules when we are in trouble or in danger in our classrooms. It is not the cell phone that's going to keep us safe. It's not the cell phone that's going that's going to give you information and how we're going to get to safety, right? So it's important that our children are listening to the rules and to our teachers in those circumstances. So I am an advocate for and it took a while to bring me to this decision as well, because I'm a parent. Of course, we want our kids to be able to reach us. But it's important that our children are listening to the teachers and trusting the process. So I think the younger pouches have done us well. It's given time back to our teachers to teach in our classrooms. It's just another layer of support to our teachers. So I think we need to continue the movement of younger pouches in more ways than not across our district.
Thank you. Ms. McGowan, do you support expanding magnet programs to more or even all Richardson ISD campuses, with each campus having a specific focus? Why or why not?
Well, I love that question, and I would say yes. That's exciting to me. I think creativity in our classrooms in our district is going to make us more competitive in ISDs. Richardson has to have the it factor for our families that are looking at districts, right? Now you are shopping for school districts. I think magnet programming is important. I think we should back that up with curriculum so that parents know exactly what they're getting when they're walking into a magnet program. I do like the idea of having more magnet programming. I don't know that we need to create every school in that sense and make certain programming or make every school some form of magnet programming, but yes, I do like the idea of our magnet programming and expanding that in our curriculum and just more creative ways of teaching our students and giving them the tools that they need in the future.
Ms. Neria?
Yes, I agree with Rachel. Yeah, there should be more magnet programs, and it should be in all schools.
This will be our last question. How do you foresee RISD might be impacted in the current move to eliminate the Federal Department of Education? How will you advocate at the state level to ensure the federal dollars will continue to flow to RISD? That's for Ms. Neria.
I am kind of biased with that question. I think we should minimize the federal program to our schools. And keep our district to state. So,
Thank you. Ms. McGowan?
I think children are and should be priority in our country. I think at the top of our priority list should be our children and how we educate our children in our country. I mean, what could we pour money into that would have a higher rate of return, right? What could we pour money into that would deliver a higher rate of return outside of children and people? And I think with federal dollars being pulled out of public schools, I think that's a dead. I think that kind of tells you all about what our federal lawmakers feel and how they feel about public schools. Now, if those federal dollars are going to be given and poured down and allocated to the state, and they're going to leave it up to the state to allocate those dollars to our students, great, keep the money coming. But if they're going to cut off all federal dollars and that money is not going to be brought down to the state level and then given out to districts, I think there lies a problem. I would tell our school districts, not tell our school districts, but I would encourage people, right, or our district leaders, that we just need to continue to advocate at the legislative level, and we do. We talk to our local legislators and we talk to our state level. And I think it's important that we continue to advocate for all the grant money that's out there, which we do, and any benefits that will benefit our teachers and students.
Thank you. Our time for questions has expired, so thank you for all the answers. Closing statements will be made in reverse ballot order. Each candidate will have 2 minutes for closing statements. Your program may have said 1.5 minutes, but it was agreed upon prior to 2 minutes. We will begin the single-member District 5 ballot position to Ms. McGowan, 2 minutes.
Thank you for having me today. Thank you for the honor of serving our school district for the past 3 years. It's been short, it's gone fast, and that is why I'm here running again. It's gone too fast. We've made great strides in our district, and I want to be here to ensure that those strides continue. As a board, we voted to give the largest pay increase to teachers in the history of RISD. I'm excited about that. I want that to continue. I want to raise the salaries of not just our teachers, but our paraprofessionals that are making maybe $20,000 a year, and that's just not enough money to take care of our greatest assets in our classrooms. I want to continue to steward the graduation profile program that we set out for our students, making sure that all of our students leave our school district with a financial literacy component. It's key, it's important, it's time, it's overdue. I want to ensure that we continue to legislate for maternity benefits and paternity benefits. Instead, there are no benefits. There are no maternity benefits for teachers in ISDs. Time out. It's time out for that. It is time that we take care of the greatest assets in our country and in our lives daily, and that's our children. And the way we do that is to make sure that we have leaders in place that are dedicated fully, with their hearts first, in those classrooms and in these buildings, behind these walls. This is not a political playground. There's no time for that. It's not about politics. Our children don't care about the politics. And we should probably take note of that. We should probably learn from the children in providing the best thing and the highest quality education that we can in our school district, making us the it, making us the why, making us number one, and making sure we bring more people to Richardson School District.
Ms. Neria.
thank you for your time and patience. the children and their parents and what they want for their children. You know, back in '98, RISD, Lake Highlands, RISD altogether, used to be the envy of the nation. The top school, one of the top schools. So, again, I just feel like our children come first. They come first, their education, the community, parents, their concerns, what they want out of their children. Because we're a team between our children, parents, and teachers.
Thank you. Let's give a big round of applause for both.
And how about that good job that Paul Felker did? Thank you so much. Besides the candidates who are here, I've noticed a couple of current RISD trustees who came in, and I want to introduce them. We have Debbie Renteria in the back, and we have Regina Harris. And ex-longtime trustee Lynette Greenbaum is here. Audience, thank you so much for bringing this weather. I know it's been a terrible day to get out, and for your attention to the candidates. Remember, your vote only counts if you vote. 3 years ago, only a little over 5,800 people voted in Richardson ISD District 5 election. Early voting is April 22nd to the 29th. Election day is May 3rd. See you at the polls. Thank you so much.